Now we are going to start section 2 of Mastering Magento course, Advanced Module Components. In this section we are going to take a look at console commands, web API implementation, menus and ACL, system configuration entries, and cron jobs declaration. In this video we are going to cover Magento 2 command line interface and custom console commands implementation. So let's create a console command for adding items to our items table. So the usual namespace for console commands inside Magento 2 model is console and command directory. In this namespace we can create our command. Let's name it add item. So Magento uses Symphony component console for implementation of its commands. So we are importing some Symphony components here to use it for our command implementation. And each Magento console command should implement Symphony component console command should extend this class. First thing we have to declare in this class is constant for arguments we are going to receive. So as our item contains name and description, we'll create two constants. Input key name and second constant input key description. So the one property that our class should have is a factory for our item class. I have included the reference to this class already, so it's mastering sample model item, the name of our model, and the factory suffix will automatically create a factory class that will be able to create items. So let's create a property for it. I'll call it item factory. Now let's implement construct method and require item factory to construct our class. So that it will be provided by dependency injection. And assign the item factory to the property. Actually, we would like to call parent constructor here as well. So parent constructor from Symphony components is accepting name, but it's an optional param and we are going to specify it later during configuration of our command, so we are not pathing anything here. The second method we are going to create here is method for configuration of our command, and it should be protected function configure. Here we can set the name of our command that will be used to call it from command line, and I would like to name it mastering item add. Also, we have to specify arguments that we are going to use with our command, and the first argument will be name. We are going to use created constant. The second one is mod, and we are going to say that our argument is required. So we are using constant of Symphony component console input argument and required. And the third argument would be a command for this argument. The command will be just item name. Let's add second argument the same way. It will be description. As you remember, description is not required for creation of our item, so we will set it to optional argument so that we can create items just with name. And the command is item description. Now I would like to call parent configure method to finish configuration. So our command now is configured and accepts two arguments. Let's add implementation of this command. To add implementation to Symphony component command, we have to implement execute function. This function accepts two arguments, input and output. So the first one is input interface, input, and the second one is output interface. Output. As this command is created to add an item, the first thing in execute we would like to do is to create an empty item using item factory. So this item factory create. Now we are going to set the data for this item. First, let's set name. This is a magic method until it's not implemented explicitly. So input get argument, and we are going to get our name argument using the constant for reference. And let's do the same for description. So item set description, input get argument, description. Now let's set that our item is new. Set is object new true. And finally, let's save our item. So item save. Now if all of those methods were executed without any errors, we'll return success. For this we will reference Magento Framework Console CLI class return success. That's it. Our command is ready to go. Now let's add it to command list of Magento Framework. To do this, we have to add a DI configuration, dependency injection configuration, to the root of our etc folder in the model. Let's create this file, di.xml. So I am adding parent node from buffer, and here we have to add an argument to the command, add our command to the command list of Magento Framework. DI configuration lets us to do this. So we would like to specify the type that we are going to alter, and it's Magento Framework console command list. We want to add more arguments for this, for instances of this class, and we are going to add our command to commands argument. Commands argument is of type array, so we are specifying XSI type array, and let's add our item. Key of item for commands array should be unique. That's only requirement, and I'm going to set it to mastering add item. Our command is an object, so this item will have type object. And here we have to specify our class. It's mastering sample module console command add item. That's it. This should add our command to the Magento command line interface. Let's test our implementation. We'll go to command line, and first thing we're going to do is to flush cache. To refresh the configuration for our new file. Now let's check available commands from bin Magento. We should see our command in this list, and you see it, mastering item add. Let's call this command and add an item. Bin Magento mastering item add. The name for an item will be item 3, because it will be a third item. And let's add some description, like third description. Okay, it looks like our item is created. Let's check it using the page that we created in previous video. Let's go to browser. As you can see, here is the result of our front controller, and we see 2 items. Let's refresh this page. Okay, and you see the item added from command line. Congratulations, you just created a Magento command. Thank you for your attention, and the next video we are going to talk about scheduling cron jobs. See you later.